turn attention to business now. The federal government has tasked stakeholders in the automotive sector on the realization of made in Nigeria vehicles for economic growth and development. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, said this in Abuja during a dialogue on automotive component manufacturing in Nigeria. According to the minister, the country has the consumer base to take up all vehicles that are produced and is looking towards exporting Nigerian vehicles to other countries on the continent. The minister said the federal government, on its part, is doing all what was necessary to ensure this was achieved, thus the need for stakeholders to also play their role. Earlier, the Director General of the Automotive Design and Development Council, Mr. Joseph Osanipin, reiterated the need for automotive component manufacturers to synergize for economic advancement. Let's head to the aviation sector, where airfares on domestic routes have dropped to 60,000 naira despite rising aviation fuel cost and the unabated foreign exchange scarcity. This follows a significant drop in passenger traffic during the first quarter of 2024. Recall that economy flight tickets for the Lagos-Abuja route rose from 89,000 naira in January to 140,000 naira in February. However, current findings on the airline's website reveal same economy class tickets on the Lagos-Abuja route for all-time slots are available for 85,000 naira for travel on April 30th, while flight from Lagos to Benin and Lagos to Anambra State have dropped to 85,000 and 100,000 naira respectively. Our electricity distribution company has unveiled plans to upgrade all its customers to Band A and Band B. General Manager, Commercial Distribution Company, Mr. Samuel Edoho, made this known during a customers engagement forum in Ojo, Lagos State. The General Manager, who represented the Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Reki Hart Momo, maintained that negotiations are underway with partners to get additional grade and off-grade supply that will improve the firm's supply and service delivery across franchise areas to a minimum of 20 hours daily. Mr. Doho explained further that the stratification of customers into different bands was not intended to discriminate against some customers in terms of service delivery.
The issue of band is not to affect customers who are not on Band A. You know, every customer from Band A to E are entitled to power supply. Ultimate goal is to gradually migrate the rest of our customers to Band A. That's the ultimate goal, but it's a gradual process.
We have complained about the billing, we have complained about the meter, we have complained about the infrastructures, which I know they are taking to their management for improvements. And we need a feedback on the platform raised so that we know what has been trashed out. And with this, we'll be having good relationship. They are profit-making organization. We don't expect them to be for Christmas. They are not NGO. Nevertheless, we too, we don't want to pay for darkness. We want to pay for light.
Outside Nigeria, Ecuador's President, Mr. Daniel Noboa, has declared that the government will cover 50% of electricity bills for April, a move that caught the country's 19 electric companies by surprise as they lack a plan to implement this presidential decision. These companies annually collect approximately $2 billion with $160 million US monthly, which supports their operations and finances generators like Selec and covers investment costs in the sector. President Noboa's commitment means an allocation of around $80 million to these companies, pending directives from the Ministry of Energy. It remains unclear whether this subsidy is exclusively for the residential sector, which account for 30% of the electric consumption, as in such a case, the state will only need to provide about $25 million US. Let's take a look at the global equities trading now. Asian shares and bond yields sank earlier today, while safe haven currencies gold and crude oil jumped after Israel attacked Iran in a continuing series of assaults that have increased concerns of a wider Middle East conflict. MSCI's Broadex Index of Asia Pacific shares dropped by 2% after earlier diving as much as 2.6%, and U.S. stock futures pointed 1% lower, retracing part of an initial 1.7% slide. Japan's Nikkei was last down 2.4%, while Taiwan's stock benchmark fell 3.5%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng also lost about 1.2%. Equity markets were also heading lower before the Middle East headlines as more robust U.S. economic data spurred additional Federal Reserve officials to signal no rushing in lowering interest rate. And cryptocurrencies slammed and Bitcoin dropped below $60,000 on Friday following report of an Israeli missile strike on Iran. Bitcoin also slid more than 5.5% to $59,961 in the Asian section as the US dollar rose broadly. Ethereum fell by a similar margin, tumbling below the $3,000 barrier to $2,895 according to an unconfirmed report. An explosive was heard at the airport in the Iranian city of Isfahan, which triggered investment flight to traditional havens such as bonds, gold, and the dollar. And while speculative investment, including stocks and virtual currencies, suffered deepening losses. In the crude oil space now, prices jumped more than 3% earlier today after Israel carried out a strike in Iran, triggering fears of an all-time war in the Middle East. Price of Brent crude surges over $90 per barrel, up from $87 shortly after the crisis between Israel and Iran intensified. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to sell at $84.27 per barrel with an upward price review of 1.86%. Brent crude futures also experienced an upsurge of 1.68%, selling at $88.57 per barrel. And Bonnie Light recorded a price decline of 1.81%, selling at $88.73 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers are offering $89.64 per barrel, with a downward price margin of 0.6%. Well, and that's all for business. Sports is next. Please stay with us.